One of the first things they learned was the code that every service member lives by. Leave no one behind. Now all of us need to live by it too, because some veterans are being left behind. 20 of them take their own lives every day. Learn how to be there for a veteran.
Really an important PSA. That was actor Tom Hanks narrating a new public service announcement for the Department of Veterans Affairs, Be There for a Veteran in Crisis campaign. With Veterans Day just around the corner, we are thinking of ways to help our country's heroes right now. Joining us this morning is the Secretary of Veterans Affairs, Dr. David Shulkin, and Johnson & Johnson CEO, Alex Gorsky. Good to see you both. Thank you so much for joining us.
Good morning.
And it's good to see you both on this topic, by the way. So, Dr. Shulkin, let me kick it off with you. Tell us about the VA's new ad campaign, this PSA. What are you trying to do here, and how can people get involved?
Well, Maria, one of our top clinical priorities is to make sure that we do everything that we can to reduce veteran suicides. 20 veterans a day taking their life, and that's just something that's really unacceptable. So we're doing everything that we can, including reaching out to corporate partners, reaching out to other organizations around the country to make sure that where there are veterans in crisis, that they're getting the help they need.
That's an incredible number. 20 veterans a day.
Yes.
And Alex, I know this is really close to your heart. You're a veteran.
Yes.
How important is this for you? And tell us how you're getting J&J involved in this effort.
Well, it's incredibly important. And at Johnson & Johnson, we couldn't be prouder than to be partnering with the VA and Secretary Shulkin. You're right, Maria, those numbers are jarring. And we've got to make sure, frankly, that corporate America is working with organizations like the VA and other things to get the word out. Because, you know, when we work together like this, we can make a big difference. You saw that PSA by Tom Hanks. I think it's a great message. Now we got to make sure they're getting the help they need.
What do you need to do to get more corporations involved? I mean, J&J has been great with veterans. JP Morgan has been very good. Are there companies that are doing more, and why?
Well, the old VA was one that said that we could do all this alone. And now we recognize that we just need help from everybody who cares about veterans. And so corporations that want to reach out and help, we are open to that, and we're doing strategic partnerships. The work with Johnson & Johnson is an example of that. But wherever we reach out, we find that Americans want to help.
When you hire veterans, Alex, tell us about that skill set. I mean, there's obviously courage and decision-making and leadership. Why is a veteran on the job important, or more important than perhaps not being a veteran?
Well, Maria, they bring so much, you know, into the workplace. Absolutely. You know, they've learned discipline. They've learned what it is to be part of a mission. They want to be part of something bigger than themselves. And when you bring those people from the service, young men, young women, into corporate America, they can really help get our economy going again.
Yeah.
So we're incredibly proud of the work that we've done. But, you know, as you said, a lot of other companies have many important efforts. But I also wouldn't underestimate the important things that we can do just day to day. You know, the simple things. Are we reaching out? Are we making a phone call to a veteran? If we know there's somebody living nearby, those small acts can have a huge difference.
That's a good point. So individuals can make a difference. Companies can make a difference. But I want to ask you about the VA making a difference. So, Dr. Shulkin, give us a progress report. Last Friday, the VA said that there were an unauthorized secret waiting list for psychotherapy appointments at Omaha's VA hospital. It delayed treatment for 87 veterans this year. 2 employees have now departed. So what do you make of this, and where are we in terms of turning around the VA, which was, of course, your goal from the beginning of your naming?
Maria, I've said all along when I became secretary that we have a lot of issues that sometimes have spanned decades that we have to fix. And you're seeing a VA that is transforming and modernizing. This is an example in Omaha where we identified the fact that 2 employees were not scheduling correctly. We took swift action, disciplinary action. Those employees are no longer part of the VA. And it's a small segment, but this is our ability to begin to start fixing this and make sure that doesn't happen.
Is it just too many people? Hard to get your bureaucratic? Why so many issues?
Well, we have 350,000 employees in the VA. So thinking about 2 employees that were doing something that was inappropriate, you have to identify them. You have to make sure that you reinforce the right ways to do things. But you're seeing a VA that is transforming, that is reforming, that is tackling the tough issues.
Yeah.